All right, hi friends. We're going to do a little review today of cause and effect. We've talked about that before. Something happens because something else happens. Or why does something happen? Something happens because something else happens, okay? So we have talked about cause and effect. We're going to review cause and effect today. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to open up your Skills Buddy books. And I'm going to ask you to open up back to the orange triangle, page 34 and 35 in your Skills Buddies, okay? In your blue Skills Buddy. You can open that up, find the orange triangles, and go ahead and find those 2 pages for me, okay? All right, now what I'm going to ask you to do, and if you had to pause to go get it, that's fine. I'm just going to unpause me, and now we can start again. All right, on this page, let's take a look. What's happening in the first picture here? Let's take a look. Okay, so the girl's painting. Let's look at the dog. What's the dog doing in this picture? Very good. He's pushing on the table, right? He's pushing on the table with his paws, okay? Now, if I look at the second picture, what happens? The paint is all over the floor. If I look at the 2 pictures side by side, what do you think causes the paint to spill? What causes the paint to spill? If you said the dog pushing on the table causes the paint to spill, then you are correct. And is the paint spilling the cause or the effect of him pushing on the table? Very good. It's the effect. The cause is he's pushing on the table. So the effect of him pushing on the table, meaning what's going to happen because he's pushing on the table, is that the paint is going to spill. Okay? So the dog pushing on the table is the cause. The effect is the paint is going to spill on the floor. Okay? So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about cause and effect. We're going to practice it. So now what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to open up to page 379 in your Readers and Writers. Okay, 379 in your Readers and Writers. Okay. All right. Now, let's take a look at this page. Okay. We're going to talk about We're going to look at what happened and why it happened, okay? What happened and why it happened, okay? Just like we looked at why was the paint spilled on the ground? Well, the paint was spilled on the ground because the dog was pushing on the table, okay? He caused that paint to fall down on the ground, okay? So let's take a look at the first picture. That's a picture of a what? Okay, it's a picture of a snowman. If a snowman happens, why? What caused the snowman to be able to be built? Let's look at the 3 pictures down below. Which picture down there would have caused you to be able to build a snowman? Very good. If I take a look, sleeping, does that cause me to build a snowman? No. Riding my bike, does that cause me to build a snowman? No. If I get a snowstorm, would that cause me to be able to build a snowman? Yes, it would. So I'm going to draw a line connecting that box to that. This is the cause, and the effect is I'm able to build a snowman, okay? Because it snowed, I was able to build a snowman. All right, let's go take a look at this one. Okay, let's see. All right, I see a little boy, and it looks like he is getting ready. Looks like he's getting ready to go to bed, right? Okay, so it looks like, I'm sorry, I'm looking at this picture wrongly. That's what happens sometimes. He's waking up, right? He's starting to wake up, get ready to start his day, right? What caused him to be able to get up and start his day? What would have caused him to be able to get up? Let's take a look. If he was sleeping and his alarm clock, look at this picture. His alarm clock is going off, right? Would that cause him to wake up? Yes, it would. Because his alarm went off, he is getting ready to get up for the day. Okay? Because his alarm went off. That alarm is the cause, and the effect is he got up. All right, let's take a look. I see a boy. He has a flat tire on his bicycle. Okay? Something had to cause that flat tire. Let's look down below. What would have caused him to get a flat tire? He got a flat tire because he rode over a nail. Very good. Because he rode over a nail, he ended up with a flat tire. Okay? All right. Very good job practicing with cause and effect. All right. This week, so that was a review of cause and effect, because it's important to understand cause and effect in a story. It helps us understand the story better, and it helps us understand why something's happening in a story. The other big skill we were talking about this week with our reading our story On the Move was all the different ways that people can travel around the world. And we saw a lot of different kinds of nouns in that story, a lot of things, because remember, nouns are people, places, animals, or things. We saw a lot of things because we saw all different kinds of transportation. We saw helicopters, we saw double-decker buses, we saw jets, we saw cars, we saw bicycles, and we saw kayaks. We saw a bunch of different kinds of ways that people can travel all around the world. And those would all fall into our category of things if we're talking about nouns. Now, we also saw some animals in our story this week On the Move. They would fall into our category of animals. So we saw a llama, we saw a camel. So we're going to talk about those things today. We're going to talk about things, and we're going to talk about animals that are our nouns, okay? And nouns are people, places, animals, or things. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some things and some animals from our story this week of On the Move, all right? So first of all, we said the big main idea of our story was exactly people have to travel all different ways around the world because some places are too far, some places are across the ocean. So we need to have all different kinds of ways to travel all around the world, okay? Now, if I want to talk about a truck, which is a thing, why does a truck need more wheels than a car? Why does a truck have to have more wheels on it than a car, which is another thing? If we're talking about nouns, it's a thing. Why would trucks need more wheels than cars? So think about trucks that travel all around the world. Why do they have more wheels than cars do? What would be some reasons why they would? Okay, well, let's think about size. Trucks are definitely bigger, right? So they would need more wheels because they're bigger than a car. Could you imagine a big, huge truck with only 4 wheels on it? I don't think it would move very fast, okay? Right, they're longer than a car too. So if you tried to put 4 little wheels on a big, long truck, you wouldn't even have enough wheels to cover the whole body of the truck, okay? And think about those big trucks on the road and they're hauling all that stuff in them. And then think about your car and it's just really usually your family in it. Which one's going to be heavier? Exactly. The truck is going to be heavier. So those would be reasons why a truck would need more wheels than a car. Okay. Now, another thing or noun that we saw in the story that they used to travel were double-decker buses. And if you remember, we went to London on one with Gecko, right? And we toured all around London. Okay. Well, now think back to that. Why do some buses have 2 levels on it and other buses do not? Why would some have 2 levels? Okay, well, one was like when we went to London, right? It might be because it's a tour bus. And if you remember, our tour bus didn't have any roof on it, so it enabled us to see everything around us, right? All the sights. So, right, that's one reason, because it might be a tour bus. What would be another reason? Think about if you have one layer on the bus and it's full of people, and then you put another layer on top and it's full of people. Is that going to carry more people than a bus that only has one level? Yes, it is. Sometimes buses have to carry twice as many people. It might be a really crowded city, so they have to have a double bus for it. Okay, now those have been things. So we talked about a truck, we talked about a car, and we talked about the double-decker buses. Those are things. Those are nouns that are things. Now let's talk about nouns that are animals that we saw in the story. Why do the camels, which is a noun that's an animal, why did they carry people in the desert, but the llamas do not? Now they talked about that in the story. Why would camels be carrying people through the desert, but not llamas? Okay, very good. Because llamas don't live in the desert. If you remember from the story, they talked about how llamas were used to climb up and over the mountains, okay? So camels live in the desert, so they would be a good animal to be using in the desert to help people travel. The llamas, if you're living somewhere where there are mountains that need to be crossed over, the llama was the animal that they talked about. Okay, so we've talked about things, nouns that are things, and we talked about nouns that are animals from our story today, from our story on the move, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to practice a little bit more with nouns. So I'm going to ask you to open up your readers and writers, and I believe, let me just double check something real quick. I want to make sure I have you doing the right page. Okay, I do. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to open up your readers and writers, and okay, you are going to open up to page 380. 380 in your readers and writers, okay? 380. So let me just double check. You have you have your readers and writers at home, so you can open up to page 380, okay? 380. And we're going to look for the right noun to finish each sentence, okay? So let's take a look. Open up your book to page 380, okay? All right, and then we are going to look, okay, 380, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at the first one. Let's read this first one. The little blank is here. Okay, those are all our sight words. The little blank is here. Okay, let's go up and let's look at the 2 nouns that they have written up there. Let's sound them out. P, cup, or up, pup. Which noun would work in that sentence? The little blank is here, if we look at the picture. The little pup. Very good. So we're going to write P-U-P on the line. and we're going to go up and we're going to circle pup because that's the noun that we're using to finish, okay? If you want to go ahead and go and finish this page on your own, you may go ahead and do that and come back to check it, okay? I'm going to keep working through. All right, this next one. The little blank ran. The little blank ran. Let's take a look up at the top here. All right, let's sound this one out. K, at, cat, and at, rat. Very good. If I look at the picture, which one answers that question? The little blank ran. Very good. We would circle cat. The little cat ran. And then we're going to go down and we're going to write that noun on the line right there. The little cat ran. Good job. All right, let's go to the next one. One fat blank is here. One fat blank is here. All right, let's look at our two words. We have a n, hen, or we have a n, pen. Let's take a look at the picture. Which noun answers that sentence? One fat blank is here. Very good. One fat hen is here. So we're going to circle our noun hen and we're going to fill it in right there. Okay? All right. Let's go to the next box. The blank likes it. The blank likes it. Let's read our sentence. Let's read our nouns up at the top. Og, log, dog, dog. The blank likes it. Let's take a look at that picture. Which noun is describing that picture? The dog. Very good. So we're going to write dog. We're going to circle dog and we're going to write dog on the line. Very good. All right. Next one. The little blank is wet. The little blank is wet. All right, let's take a look up here. And we have a pet, and we have a net. Which noun describes that picture? The little pet. Good job. So we're going to circle pet. And we'll write pet on the line. All right, let's take a look at the last one. A cat ran to the blank. A cat ran to the, let's take a look at our picture up here and let's take a look at our two nouns. An, fan, or an, man. A cat ran to the, very good, to the man. Okay? All right, so there you go. Come back and check your work. The little pup is here. The little cat ran. One fat hen is here. The dog likes it. The little pet is wet. A cat ran to the man. Okay? All right. Great job on those nouns today. All right, so here's my challenge to you with nouns. Take a little walk around your house today. Find a person. Find an animal. It could be outside. You might not have animals inside. It could be outside. Find a thing. And find a picture of a place. Okay, so find a person, an animal, a thing, and find a picture of a place. Okay? All right. Great job on nouns, my friends.